If you love bourbon and bluegrass, like I do, you better mark your calendar for March 2nd for the first annual Bonded Spirit Bluegrass Festival. It's happening at Smoke Justis in Covington. It's going to be a huge celebration. And Amy Tobin, a B-Line Bourbon Ambassador, joining us now in the studio to tell us all about it. Great to have you here, Amy.
Thanks, Pete. I'm glad to be here.
So I understand, the festival is in celebration of the Bottled in Bond Act of 1897. What is that?
It's incredibly important. It was passed by a man named John G. Carlisle, and he's actually a Covington, Kentucky native, which is super cool. Before John, rectifiers were adding things to bourbon that you wouldn't even believe. How about a dose of tobacco juice?
Oh, geez.
Turpentine. Yucky things that we don't want to drink. And John G. Carlisle stepped in and said, you know what, this is not going to happen. So now the Bottled in Bond Act means that any whiskey that is declared bottled in bond has to be aged for 4 years. It has to be 100 proof on the nose, not 99, not 102, 100 proof, and created by one distiller. So that protects it from additives and other things that happened way before our good buddy John G. Carlisle stepped in.
How about that? So for our bourbon lovers, when they see Bottled in Bond, now you know what that means. Very cool.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the event. I know it's going to be happening Saturday, March 2nd. What can people expect?
So we've got bluegrass, as the name implies, and we don't just have any old bluegrass. We've got Grammy-nominated Sadie sisters, Sister Sadie. We've also got the Goodwin brothers, and we've got a regional act called Moonshine Drive. So lots of good bluegrass, but also it's got a backdrop that people will just love. It's got the Roebling suspension bridge behind the bands on the stage, so that's going to be beautiful.
Wow.
There's also a cocktail contest from some of the Commonwealth's best bartenders, where they'll be creating really terrific cocktails using New Riff Bottled in Bond whiskey.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. So, Amy, speaking of cocktails, while we have you here, I understand you have a little something you can make for us today?
I do. It's a new fashion.
Oh, new fashion.
A new fashion
okay.
Made with New Riff's Bottled in Bond bourbon.
Okay.
And it's just a little bit of a riff on the old fashioned.
I see what you did there.
There you
Riff.
go.
Okay.
So I'm going to add 2 ounces of bourbon.
Okay.
To a mixing glass. Ooh, I'm a splasher. To a mixing glass. I'm going to add just a bit of simple syrup. And you know what? You can do this. You can flavor it up any way you might want. You could add citrus, ginger, whatever.
Okay.
A little bit of orange bitters. These are locally made. And then I'm going to have you give it a little stir for me with our fancy stir stick.
Fancy stir. Yeah, this is awesome. And while I'm doing this too, Amy, let's talk a little bit about the fact that Smoke Justis is part of the B-Line.
Absolutely. There are so many great stops in northern Kentucky, and folks can find out how to earn B-Line swag by visiting 2 distilleries, 2 restaurants, and 2 bars in northern Kentucky.
Awesome. It sounds good. All right. Well, this looks great. So then we're going to put this in the glass?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I like to mention that you definitely want to add citrus when a drink or a recipe calls for citrus. Definitely add it. It adds so much to the drinking experience. And we've got some cherries. And Pete, cheers to you.
Oh my gosh, it looks great. And just a reminder for the folks watching at home right now, Amy, I'm sure they want to take advantage of those last remaining tickets. Where can we go for more information?
Go to bondedspirit.com, and I'd go soon. We expect this is going to be a sellout. We've got our general admission tickets left at this point. And then also you can find more at any of the B-Line social channels.
All right, we're looking forward to it, Amy. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.